No, those things you have to. In other words, this is an aspect of the whole chapter I have on endowment, endowing something with a reality that it doesn't have through physical actions. And in other words, if I have to have boiling hot coffee and burn myself, I want nice, cool tea or whatever it is on stage, and then I endow it with what it should be, right? The same in a fight. I don't want anything that's going to take control of me or take the scene where it shouldn't go. So, but I want to work on it so that it has sensory reality to me, and then bring it about so that I can believe it and then the audience will believe it.
The point where it does say she strikes it, which is when he says, I am a gentleman, and I say that, I'll try. What we had worked out, which is the one thing that I think we really had set, was that I go to slap him and he stops me. That works?
Well, he says if you strike me, I'll cuff you again. I think you have to hit him there for the next line to make sense.
Okay.
Right?
I have no problem with that.
Okay. No, but don't hurt him. You got to believe you slap him, but work on it so that you aren't hurting him. Right? Okay, good. Thank you.
Is there an order for tomorrow?
The fifth exercise is called recreating physical sensations. Now, in part one, the sensory responses to visible and tangible objects that have been imaginatively endowed with properties that cannot or should not be real on stage. For instance, I don't want a real hot iron on stage. I might burn myself. I don't want real steam to come out of an iron on stage. I always tell the story about Mary Ewer, who was ironing in Look Back in Anger on Broadway here. And when the steam came out of the iron, first of all, the entire audience said, oh, look, real steam. That's that plugged in. And they left the stage. They had no reality anymore at all because suddenly it was real steam. Secondly, one night, she got a steam burn, curtain. She was rushed to the hospital, and the performance was canceled. So those dangerous realities that can control you have to be found not by the reality, but by an endowed reality.
Okay.
Okay. Now, that was kind of wonderful. How did you feel?
Pretty good. I think I anticipated a bit the sound.
That I wondered about, and what.
Well, I can sort of see that way, but not really because it's night, but only.
But directing your attention there, I felt, came before you believed you heard.
Yes.
That was the only thing I would have criticized.
Yeah.
And I thought, because it became then, what's funny when we do an illustrated action, it makes me speculate, why did she do that? Do you know what I mean? Now, if you had heard something and then looked there, yeah, I would have believed it. And you would have too.
Yeah.
But that's what you anticipated.
Yeah.
No, this, I had almost no criticism, and they had wonderful examples. My God, the wet clothes were just superb. And then always these actors who, they have to come in from the rain, so they put their head under the tap water first, and then it drips all over the set, but they don't feel really wet anywhere else, you know. But this was exemplary, that entrance. And the weight of the water and the steam and the burning yourself and the chocolate. I mean, it was, I have no criticism, unfortunately. But there's one other thing I want to say right at this point, is that all the exercises should, ideally, set up an automatic rehearsal process so that you rehearse all day long. You don't just rehearse when you set the time for it. I can't go to an oven. Every time I open my oven at home, I see how I go back from the heat. Do you follow? In other words, the self-observation involved when you burn yourself, when you touch an iron, at which point you pull back the finger. Because these are the things that create the reality of the sensation. Can you see from this exercise the endless variations? Opening a bottle that's supposed to be stuck. A sharp knife. I use a dull one and see what happens when it's supposed to be really sharp. So I can't hurt myself. Okay. I think that's enough. It's very good.